Hello again and welcome back to another installment of Poke Fodder. Wow. Wow. I'm going to get into it's the final day of the Grass Gym Cup. And I feel like it just got completely overshadowed. There was so much news that dropped last night, which is typical. About 24 hours before the end of a Gym Cup, they will release the new stat balances, that the maintenance announcement is going to be down for a while, and what figures are not going to be available, things of that nature. And I really feel like the developers saw a problem with the game and worked to try to come up with a solution. We're going to get into we're just going to scratch the surface of everything, because like when the tropical energy dropped a couple weeks ago, there was so much to digest, and we don't even know what's going to come out tomorrow. And today is Tuesday, so if you're watching this Wednesday, the new stuff will already be out and we'll already know, but we don't even know what's coming out yet. And there is so much excitement around this game, going back to the release of the tropical decks. And now it's been followed up with what appears to be another huge announcement. That it really is, it's going to take me, for sure, a couple days to sort through it, to look over all the changes, to run new decks. Quite honestly, if your big complaint beforehand was that only one or two, maybe three decks were truly viable, that is gone. There is going to be the skill and the art of crafting decks is going to be back 98%. I'm not going to speak in infinite terms, but we'll say 98%. There will be so many different pieces that you can plug together and build a team around how you want to play, which for me personally, I've been playing since North American launch. And the thing that I've always said, and I've mentioned it a couple times here on my channel, is that I don't have quote unquote my deck. And I think this is a good step towards helping me find what I would consider to be my staple deck that I want to run, enjoy running, is viable to run. And hopefully it allows you to be able to come up with that as well. First things first, we're just going to pop open the lock booster, because with everything going on, I'm probably least excited about this. Unless we get something great. Ivysaur is not great. Bulbasaur is not great. Ingot common is not, and rare metal common. So nothing good there. Let's go into just kind of basically maintenance announcement. It's going to go down for 5 hours, maybe less, maybe more. Who cares? Stat balances. First thing you'll notice is if you look here, they're going to give 3 booster tickets to anybody who has the game installed before 5 o'clock, and that's AM UTC on the 26th. So if you're not, if you haven't downloaded the game, download the game. If you're watching the video and haven't downloaded the game, go download the game so you get your 3 booster tickets. My guess is that they're doing that because of the changes that they've made. You know, if quite honestly, if you invested 5, 6, 7 cubes and a couple million in ingots to build up your Deoxys or Reuniclus decks, 3 booster tickets that statistically are going to get you 3 uncommons doesn't really seem like much of a kickback, if you will, but it's better than them saying sorry. And I will say, that is the one thing I've noticed about this game. I get so frustrated because you spend your gold and your cubes and your medals to build up Pokemon and get them to level 5 and get a couple chain levels on them. And then the next update comes out and the Pokemon that you just spent a month building up to be the superpower, all of a sudden is irrelevant. And people will ask me, hey, should I do this? Should I craft this? Should I pick up this from the material store? And I'm like, wait until the new booster. You never know what's going to come out, and what's good today may not even be relevant tomorrow, i.e. the Deoxys. So keep that in mind. Don't craft anything, with the exception of if you have the gems to buy boosters, and it's a long shot, but it may be worth it to pick up a booster today, even not knowing what tomorrow is, if you want that Greninja. And granted, you only have about a 4% chance of grabbing a Greninja, but he's going to be leaving, and he's not going to be available in the next booster. And Greninja is a great piece in a water deck as of today. And see, here's the thing. I say this because as of today, Greninja is a great water runner. But tomorrow, there may be a better water runner. And then you'll be like, well, I wish I hadn't crafted my Greninja, or wish I hadn't spent the gems on the booster. So I don't know. You're kind of damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, I think, as far as that goes. If you want a Greninja, buy a pack or craft him. I feel like he survived and was relevant during the Deoxys Reun era, although Mew kind of took a bit of the limelight. He's back viable with the Dark Energy plate. I think he'll be viable. So if he's a Pokemon you want and you're really trying to get, I would say you're better than 50%. Go ahead and do it. How about that? So here we go. They're doing some rebalancing. Be sure if your Pokemon, if you have a Pokemon that you've leveled up, say for some reason you had a Dialga and you had him to level 4 for whatever reason, then you're gonna have to go back and I think reallocate after the change. And if you had any chain levels, you'll definitely have to redo that. So definitely go take care of that. Dialga is going from 110 to 130 and 60 to 70. Looks like the 70 slice is going to get a little bit larger and the mist slice is going to get a little bit smaller. You know, we've got this Roar of Time is going to be changed to return the battle opponent to their state of the start of the duel state, which excluding evolutions. So I'm taking that, and the example they give is Reshiram and Zekrom. You bring your Reshiram and Zekrom out, slap down this Roar of Time from Dialga attacking another Pokemon. All of a sudden your Reshiram and Zekrom have weight 9 again, because that's their start of the game state. I think that's a good game. I don't know that you can have 4 Pokemon on the field, 5 Pokemon on the field. 2 of them have to wait 9 turns, which means you're possibly only able to move 2 or 3 Pokemon for 4 turns, 4 of your own turns. I don't know that you can overcome that. I feel like your opponent would be able to exploit that, and that would be bad news. So definitely something that we want to try out. Something that, and they lose their overdrive plate if you read right in here. Man, it almost feels like they released all these plates that allow special effects. You know, all the energy plates hold on, and I have the feeling that those get wiped away. Maybe it doesn't do it on board coverage. Maybe it just does an individual Pokemon. But who knows? And maybe there's more plates coming out that are individual Pokemon, like Long Barrel. Does that go away? Landsrath, does that go away? Not that people were using, I can't think of his name right now, Zygarde, but maybe you want to use your Zygarde now. Maybe you got enough that you leveled him up to 5. You do your Landsrath, does that go away? My guess is yes, but I don't know that for sure. We're gonna have to test that out. Definitely something to keep in mind. And 1 MP Pokemon, are they viable again? you know, you're not running against, for the most part, 3-speed Deoxys that can cap your goal in 2 turns. Can you use some of your 1 MP Pokemon? Do they become relevant again? My guess is yes. But like I said, there's so much here that we're gonna have to take a couple days to sort through all this. Continuing on, and I'm quickly going over this. I will go into way more detail specifically on these Pokemon as we start sorting through it, and we know what's what and what actually works and the way it works and how effective it is and is it viable. It sounds good on paper, but it doesn't really work in gameplay. So moving on, we have Palkia, who is going Special Rend from 100 to 120. Dragon Claw is going from 60 to 70. And here we go. If you tie with Special Rend, as of right now, I'm almost positive if you tie, then the opponent gets knocked out. Now, not only do they get knocked out, they get removed from the game. And if you run the dragons, then you know, or if you've gone up against the dragons, you know, losing a Pokemon is a major handicap in the late game when you're running 3-on-4. Getting around the board to your opponent's goal becomes almost impossible. So there you go. Definitely something that we're going to have to try out. Deoxys attack form went from a 2-star purple to a 3-star purple, and that's big because that means he's not going to tie with nearly as many opponents as he did before with the 2-star purple. And kind of the nail in the coffin for this is the Pokemon gets a weight 3. Man, can you imagine, again, in late game when you're running 4-on-4, you attack or get attacked your Deoxys A, he rolls the purple, gets sent back to the bench for 3. That is a huge momentum swing, and you're gonna probably lose the board presence that you had. There you go. I mean, it is what it is, but that, and I don't think this is the end of Deoxys decks. I know a lot of people are saying Deoxys is gone. 130 is still a very powerful attack. And there were changes to the Cosmo Energy Plate. We'll go into that. But I think they just changed it. If I'm reading it correctly, they just changed it to your Pokemon have to be on the field now in order to switch them out. And not, you can't leave someone on the bench and just keep flopping them back on the bench. So if one of them gets burned or paralyzed or confused, they go back to the bench and then come right back out on the next turn and they're healed. Moving on, there are no changes. We've also, okay, so the Cosmo Energy, we'll go into that. Empoleon, who was like a budget Heatran, although it came out first, nobody ran because it was so underpowered. It has been buffed from Metal Claw 40 to Ice Beam 70, and Hydro Pump 70 to Hydro Pump 90. And they changed one of the missed locations on the dodge. We will have to look into that. Moving through this, new attack Ice Beam, which can leave the opponent frozen if it's knocked out. So if you bring your Empoleon out, he gets knocked out. I think it's pretty similar to, what is it, Weavile? Weavile has the damage where if you get knocked out, you potentially get frozen. I believe that's going to be the same there. Rayquaza, Groudon, Primal Rage. We've added a new ability, Primal Rage, which says if the opponent has Groudon, Kyogre, or Rayquaza on the field, this Pokemon gets +1 MP and does +20 damage. Now here's the thing. Nobody's running Groudon. A handful of people are running Rayquaza, but if you don't really need to break the opponent's energies, like if people aren't running Tropical, Dark, or Cosmo energy plates, then do you need to bring Rayquaza out anymore? I would think no. So I have a feeling there's something else going to go on here that is going to put incentive into having one of those Pokemon on your field. But they're going to gain a 1 MP and a plus 20 damage. If they leave it like it is, I can't see running one in a deck with the hopes that someone else, that your opponent's running one, because then you're just helping out your opponent as well. If you just don't run one, then they're stuck with not being able to use the special ability, which leads me to think that there is something else more coming with this. It goes on to say about strategy using that. Kyogre is not available, but again, they hint to that he'll be coming out as an event reward. They did that with Groudon, and he was in the next gym. I would say that, to me, I'm going to read into that and say that he's the gym reward for the next Gym Cup. Moving on, Shiftry, Razor Wind 60 to 70 and Pound to 40 to 50. Not sure people are going to run Shiftry, but if people are going to run a Tropical deck, and Tropical deck could be viable moving forward, then a free gold block is a free gold block, and he's a little bit stronger. Maybe there's incentive to run him. Reuniclus, man, Reuniclus, I'll give you the Cliff Notes, because this is pretty long. Basically, they can only respin how many are on the field, and they admitted that the games were taking too long with Reuniclus. So there you go, which is what everybody knew. See? Leading to long, drawn-out duels. It also works with the Duosion and Solosis, but I don't think anybody's running those. And they can only respin when they attack. So there you go. If you attack one, they have such huge misses. I don't know. You will probably see Reuniclus for a little while, because Brain Leak they're still doing 100 plus damage for both their wide attacks, and Confusion does a lot of damage to opponents. But you're not going to run into them nearly as often, and I think eventually they'll probably die out because their miss section is so large. Moving on, Psyduck. I don't know anything about Psyduck. They buffed him. Maybe that means Golduck is coming out soon. Scratch 30 to Water Pulse 60. They increase the wheel size of Disable and decrease the size of the miss. So there we go. Which can force the opponent to respin a purple attack, I guess is what Disable is. Or Migraine. There you go. Kabuto, scratch 30 to Mudshot 40 and decreased its wheel piece size. Added Aqua Jet. Maybe Kabutops is a bug water, if I'm not mistaken. Could this be hinting towards a bug gym coming up? Who knows? Moving on. Nuzleaf from 30 to 40. I honestly don't know anything about Nuzleaf. So there you go. Evolving into Shiftry. Okay, so there you go. So basically they're making it easier to evolve, and he's the pre-evolution of Shiftry. Cosmo Energy has been changed from field or bench to just field. Again, we went over that already. Yeah, so basically you have to choose when you're going to do the Cosmo Energy. And here's the thing. Deoxys, they're not going to die. The Deoxys speed, being able to go 4 spots off the bench, puts huge pressure on the goal. But they're just not going to be able to completely play the waiting game, is what's going on. They're not dead, in my opinion. I think you'll still see them. They're still very strong. They can still change the matchup, and far fewer people are going to be running Dark Energy now. Therefore, you know, they're going to be able to move, which maybe that means that you want to do your Rayquaza or your Groudon for the Break Energy. Who knows? But I don't personally think Deoxys is dead. I just think they got brought down to probably where they should have been to begin with. Flame Energy, this weight 3 on all of the opponent's burned Pokemon. First thing that comes to mind is Magmortar. Who knows? But you know, the problem with Flame Energy and burning is a lot of the Pokemon that burn upon being knocked out. And who knows? This is going to be one. There will be somebody super smart that will craft a deck and with fire, and it's going to be tough to work around. But to me, it seems a little gimmicky right off the bat. But I'm going to reserve judgment on this until we see more about it. It does seem to make fire type decks actually usable moving forward, and that's good. You know, variety is not a bad thing. And that covers that. We will quickly go over Genesect, Articuno, Greninja, Venusaur, and Chestnut are no longer available. I know a lot of you are going to be sad that Arbok is not going to be available and Haunter are not going to be available anymore. I actually like Articuno. I like Greninja. Venusaur, I'm whatever, and Chestnut, I'm actually running one in the deck that I have on my main screen. But, you know, this deck is probably not the deck I'm going to be running come tomorrow, just because there's going to be lots of changes. Lots and lots of changes on the horizon. Can't wait. Should be super exciting. I anticipate this bringing a ton of variety into the game, and you're actually going to be able to craft decks to how you want to play. I don't think you have to have 2 runners anymore. I don't think you have to have 3 runners anymore. I think you can run a 1 MP Pokemon and not be at this huge disadvantage, because you're not going to have 3 Pokemon sitting on your doorstep 3 turns into a game. With all that said, that's tomorrow's news. Today's the last day of the Grass Gym Cup. I already have my 50 wins, but I don't mind picking up a couple free extra Pokemon with the chance of possibly getting another EX or 2. So we are going to go ahead and just jump in here and play. We'll see how long they take. This has already been a really long video, and I'm just now in my first game. We'll see how long this game takes. These games typically don't take a super long time, but we'll see. As I say that, this one could end up taking a while. Oh, you know what? I got my Subtile up to level 5 today. Typically I would have upped the blue, but after I looked at it for the final buff, I noticed that 90 is not, you know, and actually mine's 91, but 91 on its own isn't going to be a lot of things. I really need it to have a better chance of spinning the 140. And so to me, it made sense to go ahead and do the white on that. But typically I would say blue and purple are the ones that you want to raise, unless you have a specific reason for not wanting to raise it. And for that, I had a specific reason. Oh, that's very sad. If he doesn't move Venusaur, I'm going to double chance Virizion at Golbat in the hopes, and he moved him, so scratch that idea. I would like to knock out his Panthump, though. Panthump is incredibly difficult to knock out. He's borderline annoying to knock out, quite honestly. I honestly don't even know what plates I'm running. Double chance, max revive, hurdle jump, drop energy. Well, we definitely don't want him Confused. You know, maybe Phantom is viable in league play moving forward. Who knows? Can't move there. I'm still going to go after him. I kind of want him off my entry point, and I want him off the board. Once again. And I can't roll a wide attack for some reason. And that's kind of... I'm going to take that as the game's way of telling me, stop attacking. And so we will. And with that, I will just take that. I haven't even been paying attention to what I'm doing here. Probably should. What do I want to do? Just back up for a second. I mean, Vibrava. I hope my Phantom is just as annoying and difficult to KO as his. I'll go over this way. Goodness gracious. So basically, it is now confirmed. Virizion is not landing a wide attack when attacking today. Good to know. Good to know. We'll go ahead and take that surround. Let's see if leveling up pays off. Yes, it does. Nice. So there we go. Both his entry points capped. Attacking with Virizion is no longer a thing. I don't know why he keeps going there. Is there something that I'm missing? I don't know why he wants that spot so bad. At this point, I really don't feel the need to attack. Oh wow, look at that. I'm just going to try to surround and pick off his Pokemon because I have his entry points covered. No, that was a misplay. I should have taken Virizion over here. Come on, roll your blue or your purple. Perfect. Here, this. We're chasing him around the board at this point. That was interesting. Oh, whoops. Oh well. I can actually live with that because I have max revive. So that was a great trade for me. We are going to max revive and bring Virizion back. And we'll just drop him here. I can't hop over his Crobat with my Virizion. Not really sure that I have, except, what is that, Crobat? Okay. Except I do have a Hurl Jump, so we will fly in the face of danger. Basically survive one attack here. And that's GG, I believe. that's going to be even better. So there we go. Victory! So that's going to do it for the Gem Cup. It was fun. The rewards were a little disappointing. I definitely could have made the 100, but I let off the gas at 50 wins. There's just no reason to spend gems to continue refilling my energy, and that's that. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great, one of the better gyms, but then again, I had the pieces to make this a fun gym. Super excited about the changes I think are on the horizon come tomorrow, and we will do a video tomorrow on kind of what just happened, if you will. So come back tomorrow, hit the subscribe button, check out the new stuff. Let's figure out what the new meta is. And is there even a new meta? Maybe it's not even a new meta. Maybe it's anything goes. But it's a great day for Pokemon Duel. Tomorrow is going to be another great day, and I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited, and until next time.